Alright, today I figured being out of the holidays and back to regular food, so to speak, that means we're not going to do any more desserts. Figured we'd take these ingredients right here and make some meatloaf. But the interesting thing about this meatloaf is it's actually low carb, very low fat, very low sugar, high protein, and it's actually bariatric approved if you were to have bariatric surgery or if you just wanted to eat a bit healthier. So in this loaf here, that pan, the whole loaf is going to have about 11 grams of protein, which is pretty good considering most protein bars, you get are around 10 or 12 grams. So if you chop it up into a couple slices, we're talking 2 or 3 grams per slice. But it's very low in calories. It'll be about 97 calories, very low in fat, 3.7 grams, and very low in sugar, 2.1 grams. And all of those things are the things that you need to cut if you are going on a diet, if you want to lose weight, if you want to be a little bit healthier. So let's get right to it. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do, we're going to put our meat. We're basically going to add all of our ingredients into this bowl here. We're going to mix it up with our hands. We're going to put it into the loaf container, and we're going to bake it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add our meat. You can use ground beef, ground turkey. This is ground chicken. Quite honestly, it was what was on sale, and there's really no taste difference as far as between turkey, chicken. Both are healthier options than ground beef. Ground beef tends to be a little greasy. You can get the lean ground beef, though. So we're going to do 1 pound of ground beef. Alright, so we're going to go, by ground beef, I did mean ground chicken. So we're going to put that in. We're going to do a pound straight in. Just like that. Next we're going to do 1/4 cup of old-fashioned oats, oatmeal. This is just going to help it stay together a bit better. Alright, so here we go, 1/4 cup in. Alright, we're going to do 1 large egg. There we go, in. We're going to do 1/2 cup of shredded cheese. We're going to do a tablespoon of onion powder. We're going to do a tablespoon of garlic powder. Do 1/4 tablespoon of salt. In this case, we're using sea salt. We're going to do 1/4 tablespoon of pepper. We're going to do a tablespoon of grated Parmesan cheese. I'm going to do 1/2 tablespoon of honey. It's in there, I promise. There it is. Alright, we're going to do 1/2 cup of chopped peppers. I've had some people ask me in the past, why don't you use habanero peppers or anything like that? And to them, all I have to say is, keep in mind, this is meatloaf, man. The idea is not to make it as spicy as possible. So, use cooking peppers. Don't use chili peppers. Don't use things that are going to burn people's mouths. It just doesn't make any sense. Alright, we're going to do a cup of sweet onion. You could use regular onion. You could also use, this is red onion. Ignore that. That's my dog with a squeaky toy. You could also use shallots. Whichever you decide you want the most. I'm using red onion just because it's a little bit sweet. And there we go, 1 cup. Now, here comes the fun part. This is going to be the part where you either love it or hate it. This is the part where you get your hands dirty. So these are all the ingredients. We got to mix them up. And the best way to do that, just get in there with your hands. Make sure you get it all mixed in. Alright, so once we're all mixed, this is what we're going to have. Yes, I mixed it with my hands. Yes, I used camera magic because I wanted to go wash my hands. See, they're nice and clean now. So, once we got it all mixed, we're going to pour it right here in the loaf pan. Alright, here we go. So, we're in the pan. Make sure you spread it out. Get it nice and flat, nice and even across the top. That's going to help it cook evenly. You're not making meatballs. Don't just leave it a big wad, a big ball of meat, that you're going to put in this pan. So just make sure you kind of even it out a little bit. And what we're going to do is we're going to make the sauce, and then we're going to pop it in the oven. Now, I should mention, this meatloaf is good to go in the oven right now. You could put it in there. While we're at it, I figured we would make some sauce. So we're going to do 2 tablespoons of mustard, 2 tablespoons of ketchup. We're just going to mix them together. It's going to be real nice, easy sauce. And then we're going to put that right on top of the meatloaf. All right, so there we go. There's our 2 tablespoons of mustard. You can use Dijon mustard. You can use spicy mustard. This is just going to go right on top of it. It's just going to kind of add a different flavor profile to it. So next is going to be 2 tablespoons of ketchup. All right, there we go. There's our 2 tablespoons of ketchup. We're going to mix that. We're going to spread it right on top. All right, so this is what we got once we're mixed. If you guys ever go to ball games, anything like that, a lot of times people put a little strip of ketchup, a little strip of mustard on their hot dogs. This is basically the exact same thing. So we're going to spread it on the loaf here. All right, this is what we got once we're all spread on the meatloaf. Again, don't just put globs of it everywhere, kind of spread it out evenly. I usually make sure that at least a little bit gets in the corners. See up around here. So we are going to put it in the oven, 375. So we're going to do 375 for 30 minutes. Our oven is already preheated. There we go, 375. We're going to set a timer for 30 minutes, and we're going to pop it in. All right, here we go. I'm going to use the top rack, and we're going to begin the timer, 30 minutes. All right, here we go, 30 minutes on the clock. And there's a nice, done, tasty meatloaf. I'll go ahead and cut a slice here in a second. All right, so here we go. Beautifully cooked, well done bariatric meatloaf, high in protein. Very tasty. As a quick shout out before the end of this video, as of filming this video, we're at 100 subs. I thank everyone that enjoys this content. As a rule, I don't beg for subs, I don't beg for likes. If you like the content, watch it. If not, don't. But here you go. If you guys have any questions, type them down in the comments.